Okay, I'm good to start. So welcome to our Gita study session. We are in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So we completed 3 chapters. So in Bhagavad Gita, it's divided into 3 sections. First 6 chapters, second 6 chapters, and last 6 chapters. Total 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita. In the first 6 chapters, Krishna talked about Karma Yoga. In the second half, 6 to 12, Krishna talked about Bhakti Yoga. And in the last 6 chapters, Krishna talked about all the things he had spoken before. He elaborated and gave additional information. Okay. And if you see, more emphasis was given to Karma Yoga. In the first 6 chapters, Krishna spoke all about Karma Yoga. Everything about Karma Yoga, importance of Karma Yoga, why one has to work like a Karma Yogi. It is important in our lives because karma is integral part of our life. Everybody works, we work, right? So Krishna talks about everything is a work, everything is a karma, right? Eating is also an action, is a karma. Sleeping is an action, a karma. Or working for someone is also an action, a karma, right? And how we have to live in this world, how we have to work in this world. That is a subject matter of Karma Yoga. What is the right way to work? Because the work which can cause bondage, the work which can cause us repeated cycle of birth and death, the same work which can help us with liberation. Right? So that's where Krishna emphasizing more on Karma Yoga in the first 6 chapters. By practicing Karma Yoga, one can break the bondage of break the bondage of karmic reactions, break the cycle of birth and death. One can traverse in the path of liberation just by practicing this Karma Yoga. If you're doing work, it's just a karma, right? If you're helping someone, donating someone, doing volunteering service, it's all karma. But karma, when done with proper knowledge, that becomes Karma Yoga. And in this chapter, 4th chapter, Krishna talks about that knowledge and glorifies that knowledge. That's why this chapter is titled Transcendental Knowledge. So what is the consciousness or mindset one has to have to do any activity? So what is the mindset one has to have to do any activity that will help him to not accumulate more karma? Okay. So Krishna talks about this. We'll go in detail. So in this chapter, we completed 10 verses. I'll give a quick glimpse of it, and we'll start from 11 onwards today. Okay. Give me 1 second. It's distracting me. Okay. So up to 3rd chapter, Krishna talked about Krishna is driving Arjuna towards Karma Yoga. Right? For initially, Arjuna did not want to fight. And Krishna spoke like, hey, you have to fight. But fight like a Karma Yogi. Right? By such fighting, you'll come to the stage of a liberated soul, a Gnani. Arjuna thought, if his goal is to attain liberation, why should he work? Krishna said, that path is difficult. This is a step 1. You purify your mind, you purify your consciousness by practicing Karma Yoga, then you can take up that thing. Otherwise, that path is difficult. Right? So in the until now, in the until 3rd chapter, in the first 3 chapters, Krishna emphasizes more on Karma Yoga. And in this chapter, it begins with Krishna saying that the knowledge he has been speaking so far is not something new. He has given this knowledge before to different people. Right? So Krishna says he has given this knowledge to Sun God. Sun God in turn gave it to Manu. Manu is his son, and Manu in turn gave it to Ikshvaku. So that's how in this disciplic succession, it was given to Rajarshi. So Rajarshi meaning a Raja means a king, a Rishi is a saintly person. So Rajarshi is a person who is saintly and also a king, saintly king. So we hardly find a saintly king in this world now. But there are few, there are good, there are saintly people too. So Krishna is saying he has given this knowledge to saintly kings so that people would practice. And there used to be so many people who practice in the past. And the practitioners are gone. That's why Krishna is speaking that again to Arjuna. That's what he's saying. So why Krishna is speaking? Because Arjuna is devotee and a friend. Then Arjuna asks this question, Krishna, is that true? You existed long back ago. You spoke this to sun god when sun god was created. So then Krishna says, so we looked at it. When that happened, that was like 28 million, 28 yuga cycles ago. 28 yuga cycles ago. So we are in Kali Yuga only. It's like 28 yuga cycles. One yuga cycle is 432,000 years. So some millions of years ago, Krishna spoke. Krishna has given this knowledge to this Rajarshi. So Arjuna asks this question, how is that? How can I understand that you have given to sun god? Then Krishna starts speaking from 5 to 10 onwards. He says about his appearance. Krishna says, both you and me, we both appeared. We both appeared many, many lifetimes ago. Many, many lifetimes. We both had many, many lifetimes. I remember everything. I remember my past. I remember my future. I remember everybody's past, present, and future. And you cannot remember. So Krishna is clearly saying that he is the Supreme Lord. Okay. And Krishna talks about his uniqueness. Why he remembers? Bhutanam Ishvarapi. Krishna says he is the Supreme Lord. He is the Supreme Controller of all living beings. He exists as Paramatma in the hearts of all living beings. He can remember everything. He knows everything. Okay? And Krishna also says, when he descends as he is, without any change in attributes. The person who is in Vaikuntha Loka or spiritual planets, the same person descends as he is, no change. So that is about the Supreme Lord. So one may have this question, Krishna, when you will appear? What is the time? When can I understand you will appear? Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya. Whenever and wherever. Whenever there is a decline in dharma, righteousness, people are not practicing their dharma, and there is an increase in adharma, people, evil forces, evil forces, when there's an increase in evil forces, that is the time Krishna appears. He says, then what is the purpose of your appearance, Krishna? One may have this question, and Krishna answers that very nicely. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanaya nardaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkritam. To protect the devotees, to annihilate the demons, to annihilate the demons. So we looked at it. To annihilate the demons, why God has to come from the spiritual world? He can send someone or he can send his Sudarshan Chakra, right, to take care of the things. Yes, he can take care of it easily. He has the power, but he still appears. Why? Because to reciprocate the love with his devotees. His devotees could not bear the separation from the Lord. We can see in Ramayana also, Many saintly sages, they were meditating on the Supreme Lord. They want to see the Supreme Lord. They couldn't bear the separation. They were eagerly waiting on the appearance of the Supreme Lord. So likewise, that is the only purpose. In case of Prahlada, everything, any incarnation we can see here, God appears to reciprocate that love with his devotees, and also establish dharma also means he gives his pastimes. Leela, he gives his pastimes. We have the whole Ramayana. It's all about Lord pastimes. Lord appeared and performed many pastimes. In Krishna also, when Krishna appeared, he appeared and he did many pastimes. In childhood pastimes, he performed many childhood pastimes. People still meditate, hear that again and again. Harikatha we say, right? People hear that again and again, again and again. So by hearing the transcendental message of the Lord again and again, the mind purifies. Mind doesn't run onto material things. Okay. And Krishna says, so Krishna spoke about his uniqueness, about himself, and when and why he appears, and purpose of his appearance. And he also says very important thing, Janma karma chame divyam. The person who understands the Lord's appearance and the Lord's activities, evam yo viti tatvataha, the person who clearly understands that about the Supreme Lord, tyakta deham punarjanma naiti mam isita Arjuna. So when he leaves his body, he will not take birth again. So in short, a person who knows about the Supreme Lord, the activities of the Supreme Lord, upon leaving his body, he will not take birth again. That's what Krishna says, and concludes about the message of his appearance. Okay, so that's what we covered in the previous section. So we'll move on. So we'll start from 11 onwards. Okay, so we did this in our previous session. Vitaraga bhayakroda manmaya mamupashritaha baho gnana tapasa potha madbhavamagataha. So what Krishna spoke in the previous verses is all about himself. And also says, one who meditates on the Supreme Lord, one who understands and meditates upon the Supreme Lord, he will not take birth again. And in this verse, Krishna is saying, many people have practiced and many people have attained perfection. Baho gnana tapasa. Baho means many. Many people, gnana tapasa, like by the process of meditation, gaining the knowledge and also meditating on the Supreme Lord, they attain perfection. Bhuta madbhava magata. They purified their mind, they purified their consciousness, and they attained transcendental love of God. And they also got freed of unnecessary material desires and fear of material things, and also anger. Okay. Now we'll talk about a verse from Nectar of Devotion. It's called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, a nice literature written by Srila Rupa Goswami, one of the Goswamis of Vrindavana. Okay, so he talks about 9 stages of bhakti, like how devotion starts, how one's spiritual life begins and advances. Okay, so we look at it one by one. It starts with faith. Faith. How faith starts? With knowledge. Okay, so we are all listening to Bhagavad Gita, right? Because we had some knowledge that Krishna being the Supreme Lord, Krishna has spoken this Bhagavad Gita. We heard from our parents or our relatives or our well-wishers. So that's how we had some faith. We had some faith. And because of that faith, we started listening this Shraddha. Because of that, it starts with Shraddha. After that, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha means association. Now we are all in this Zoom call. It's an association, right? Because of you had faith and you are attending the class and we are learning together. It's Sadhu Sangha. So sadhu sangha also means like associating with the saintly people, like in going to temple. I see like recently Chris came to the temple during an event. That was the first time he came to the temple, right? He had the darshan, and he went to the people, like different people. He met various people and he started talking. He's inquiring like how it started with them, how this spiritual life started with them. He's more curious. Right? So that's association. That's a benefit of association. When people associate with the saintly people in a saintly place, like a temple or somewhere else, then they start inquiring and learning more about other things. So association also means like we associate, right? People associate with in parties. People go to the parties, birthday party or any parties. There are 100 varieties of parties. People talk about many things, many things. So many subject matters. So many subject matters in the world. Some people, they talk so much about the movies, they won't get tired. I used to go to a few birthday parties before. Before the beginning of the party, they start speaking about movies. It goes on, goes on, goes on. That guy continues to speak about, glorifies that hero, that's heroine, or the director who directed the movie. Continuously talk, 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 talk. And the people around him are also so much interested to talk about various unnecessary. I mean, it's not unnecessary. Maybe it's necessary for him, but they talk about various subject matters. So what is it? What how that helps? Maybe it gives some kind of entertainment. That's good, but it won't help us in liberation. Right? So the association with the saintly people, like in the Zoom call, that we are all learning together and also associating in the temple and doing some practices. That's how that purifies our mind consciousness. That helps us to walk in the direction of liberation. So it starts with faith and association and the practice. Bhajana Kriya means practice. Right? Now that we have the faith, now that we have starting listening, and this step after that is practice. Like chanting the holy name of the Lord, or taking up devotional service. There are many practices are involved in the process of devotion. No one takes up the practice. Okay, so if you're interested about the practice, it's a 1 hour session, we can go. So by such practice, what happens next? Cleansing. Cleansing. Anardhani vritti. That's what Krishna also said in previous verse, one of the previous verse, right? It cleanses our unnecessary desires, material desires, running behind material things, which is always unsatisfying, unfulfilled, right? So, and most importantly, this lust, greed, envy, jealous, so many negativities we have accumulated through many lifetimes, not just this lifetime, many lifetimes we accumulated so much dirt. So that will be cleansed by the practice of devotion. After the cleaning process, nishta, right? Steadiness. One has firm conviction. Yes, this is my path, this is my way. And one develops taste. He wants to practice this again and again. Right now we are going into the higher level. One develops attachment towards spirituality, and one develops starts meditating on the Lord, and with various emotions he tries to connect with the Lord, right? And attains the pure love of Godhead. So these are the different stages. This is very nicely given in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, one of the literature from Goswamis. Okay, so life lesson. Purity of mind is indispensable for God realization. So purity of mind is absolutely necessary for God realization, which is very much required. To achieve mental purity, what is needed? The practice. The practice is needed. Jnana tapas is necessary. So by that practice, what will happen? All the dirt will be cleansed, and one can clearly, completely absorb, contemplating on the pastimes of the Lord and take fully shelter of the Lord. So that is the purpose. That is why Krishna descends and he performs many various pastimes for our purification. Okay, that is the message. Okay, we'll move on. I request someone to read this verse.
Yes, Prabhu. ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तां तथैव भजाम्यहं मम वर्तमानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects. O son of Pritha.
Thank you. So this is very, very important verse. In this verse, Krishna uncovers many things. So we'll see what Krishna said in the previous verse. Manmana mam upashritya. One who takes the shelter of the Supreme Lord, one who meditates on the Supreme Lord, their mind is purified, their consciousness is purified. They can attain Supreme Lord. But in this verse, Krishna is saying, but there are some people who do not do that. Right? So there are some people who do not do that or do in a indirect way. Right? So we'll try to analyze this. So previous verse, Manmana mam upashritya, one who takes the shelter of the Supreme Lord. Here he's saying like, Ye dhamam prapadyante, whatever the way, whatever the way one approaches the Supreme Lord, he reciprocates accordingly. So that is a message in this verse. Whatever the way one approaches the Lord, he reciprocates accordingly. End of the day, everyone is practicing they're walking towards the Supreme Lord only. Second, I need to. Okay. So we'll analyze this verse a little bit. So there are different kinds of people, different paths, and different destinations. Okay, some people believe in the God, some people do not believe in the God, some people partially believe in the God. so we'll classify this, understand. Okay, so we'll start with the atheist. Atheist, they don't believe in the God. They don't believe in the existence of the God. What is the purpose of life? If you ask them, enjoy life. Why are you worried about God and many things, spirituality and everything? Life is to enjoy. Enjoy life, live a king size life and die. Right? Atheists, they don't believe in any spiritual subject matters or anything. Right? Krishna speaks about this in later verses of Bhagavad Gita. I'm telling it now so that even if you miss anything, you don't miss anything. You'll have more info. It's good to understand these verses with additional info. So the people who doesn't believe in the God, no spirituality, running behind material things, material enjoyments, material accumulation, there is always incompleteness. There is always incompleteness, unsatisfaction, no satisfaction at all. And the desires are unfulfilled. Running behind a certain things. I want this, I want A, I want B, I want C, accumulating A, accumulating B, C. Still, desires are unlimited, keep on coming. More we look at the things, more we be around with those kind of people, we will it's natural. People get the desires and run behind material things. So what happens? They are wasting the purpose of human life, right? So one would be entangled in the repeated cycle of birth and death. So Krishna says in the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, यह शास्त्र विधिम, I think 16th chapter, यह शास्त्र विधिम उस्तिसा वर्तते काम कारण न सिद्धिम अवाप्नोति न सुखम न परमाम गतिम. One who disregards the spiritual injections, one who disregards the Bhagavad Gita, one who disregards the existence of the Lord. What happens to such a person? And who also lives according to his own whims, his own life, his own way. What happens to such a person? Nasa siddhim na paramam gatim. He neither be happy, neither attain perfection, neither attain the Supreme Lord. He goes into this repeated cycle of birth and death. There are billions of years, right? Billions of yuga cycles. One has to, he gets entangled, that person will get entangled. If it doesn't have any faith in any spiritual subject matters. Krishna talks about in later verses, but I'm giving additional clarity. Okay, this people are is clear. The people who don't believe in the God, it's clear, right? Their activities and their destination is clear. Krishna spoke about that. We also got that now. We looked at it now. The people who believe in the God, right? Then there are more problems. More things will come into picture. Right? People who don't believe in the God, it's simple. They don't believe in the God. The people who believe in the God, again, different flavors, different variations. Okay. So we'll see one by one. People who believe in the God, okay, they'll approach the God for material benefits. God, give me this. I want money, give me money. There is nothing wrong in asking money. Okay. I'm not saying do not ask money. No, if we need, we should ask. Right? If we are under the protection of our Father, if we keep ourselves under the protection of our Father is the one who's going to take care of us, right? Right? We have experience with our fathers or our children also. Our children, they depend on us. They're dependents. They depend on us. It is because they depend on us, I give or we give everything, all the necessities needed for them. They ask us, I give. It's natural. It's a thing that has to happen. That will happen. Okay. In case of God also, right? When we go to the God, we ask material benefits and God supplies. The problem is when we go to the God only for material benefits. That is the problem. Only for material benefits. Once the material benefit is resolved, when the people pray for a job, when the job is gone, like when the job is attained, people say like bye. I don't want to see your face. I don't want to go to temple. That's what the Krishna is saying. No, that is just a problem. Because the desires are, one problem is solved, again other problem will come. Again they'll go to the God. God, give me this after 6 months. Right? So people are making a business transaction. Right? Right? God, please solve my problem. You are there to help me. You are my problem solver. Right? If our children are coming to us just for that, right? Dad, help me. Once we help them, they are going away. They're not coming to us. How do we see them? Right? Maybe they're not loving us. That's what we think, right? Yeah. So same thing. So that is one category. Second category is people approach the God for material benefits. Second thing is distress, when they're in distress, some health issues or some other issues going on. They go to the God and desperately pray to the God. God, please solve this problem. God solves. But after solving the problem, we forget about the God. Right? And the third category, this is different category. Right? So people go to the God, doesn't go to the God directly. They'll go through demigods. Right? For example, there are many in the Karma Kanda section of Vedas. There are many things like many pujas, rituals. Right? So if a person wants wealth, he can do some yajna, yaga, puja. If a person wants a good wife, okay, he can do certain things like this, certain puja, yajna, or the activities, rituals he can do. To whom? To the demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varuna. There's so many millions of demigods. So I was thinking about something. I used to have a friend I stayed in Bangalore for some time. I used to have a friend, right? So I was working there, and that person came for job search, and he was searching for a job. and he initially used to learn little bit and go to interviews. Interviews, he attends interviews, and sometimes he like first he clears first round, again he fails in the he doesn't clear in the second round, he comes back, right? So that continued for some time. Right? So he came, he thought like he'll get a job. That he tried 1 month, 2 month, and he thought like his luck is not good. Hmm? He was not putting effort. This is the thing, I saw him. Right? He was not putting effort, but he thought like his luck is not good. So he went back home, and he did some puja or something, and he got a ring. Blue color ring. Hmm? And again, same thing. He continued. He still did not get the job. Again, he went and he did some other puja, and he got few other rings, color rings, and so many necklaces. Right? So what that guy is doing? Instead of putting his efforts, he's more thinking about like easy way of attaining it, easy way of attaining this through some puja archana. That's it. So that is another category. They don't approach the god, but they approach the god through a different medium, right? So there are various rituals and pujas are being mentioned. If a person performs that, he'll attain. The demigods are the one who give them. If a person wants job, the demigods are the one, when the puja is performed correctly, they'll give the material benefits. Right? so let's talk about demigods. Demigods are the representative of the lords. They'll give whatever we ask for. Okay, but they themselves, they do not have the power to give. That has to come from the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is the one who sanctions through demigods. Okay, so we've completed that category. So what is the destination of a person? Like all these categories, who is approaching the god, a problem solver, or who is approaching the god, to make a deal with him. You give me this, I give you this. You give me $10, you give me $1,000,000, I give you $10 in a hundi. Right? And going to the god for, or not going to the god directly, in a different medium, through demigods. So whatever the way, whatever the one approaches, God is saying he'll reciprocate accordingly. Means he'll give whatever they want. Right? But the path is slow. What they want is still material things only. That's why the path is slow. And the other category, level 2. We completed level 1, level 2. One who has full faith in the Lord, one who practices, takes up spirituality, practices, and continues through the sadhana bhakti, that practice of devotional services, and also completely takes the shelter of the Supreme Lord, like Sharanagati, right? So what happens? His mind is purified, his consciousness is purified, he makes spiritual advancements faster. Even though he will have material desires in the beginning, of course he'll go to the God, because he's taken shelter of the God, like a child goes to parent. Parent gives, the Supreme Lord also gives, no problem, and he continues. So that's how one develops detachment towards unnecessary material things. Okay, last section, level 3. This person, so once one passes the level 2, he goes into the higher stage of pure devotion to the Lord, loves the Lord with emotions. He tries to connect the Supreme Lord. There are examples like Prahalada, without anything, like their focus is fully on the Supreme Lord, like Hanuman in the Dhyasyaras. He want to serve the Supreme Lord. He want to serve the Supreme Lord without expecting anything, right? Like Arjuna as a friend, and Vatsalya. Vatsalya, like a motherly parental affection, and Madhuri as a lover, like gopis of Vrindavana, they are in loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. So these are different levels. Okay, hope you are with me. I know you'll have many questions. Keep your questions ready. So we'll discuss towards the end. I'll ask someone to read this verse, text 12.
काङ्क्षान्तः कर्मणां सिद्धिं यजन्त इह देवतः क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world.
Thank you, bro. So what Krishna has been saying, right? Krishna appears, he performs pastimes. One who meditates on the Supreme Lord will attain perfection. And one doesn't, what are the way a person approaches God reciprocates? And in this verse, Krishna is saying there are some people who do not approach the Lord directly. They'll go through a medium, another medium, that is demigods. Demigods. And why they go to demigods? Siddhir bhavati karmaja. What are the action they do? They want immediate result. So we see these people all the time, right? Everybody does it, right? We are also on, everybody does it, right? If a person going to a gym for fitness, he looks at people with nice muscles. He thinks like, yeah, I want to build the muscles. Okay, I'll pay the gym fees, and within a month I will be like that. Is that reality? One has to go through real work. It's not a 1 month thing. It's like it takes years. It takes years to attain that stage. But people want quick results. Because of quick results, they'll do various things, all kinds of things to gain these muscles, like steroids or whatever. It's very natural. People want quickly things quickly. If a person is doing a weight loss program, right? So they'll join the weight loss program, they put all the money, and they started expecting like it will happen immediately within a weeks. Because it's a process, it takes time. But people still want quickly. Right? That is a Manushya Lokik. Kshipram hi Manushya. It's very natural that people in this material world, people want the things quickly. Whatever they do, they want quickly. So it is because people want the results quickly, they'll go to these demigods. That's what Krishna is saying. Right? If you see in the scriptures, in the Vedas, it's very nicely given. There are Karma Kanda section of the Vedas, Gnana Kanda, and Upasana Kanda section of the Vedas. Karma Kanda section mainly deals with this aspect. If a person wants something, they can do certain pujas and make things, right? Not to Supreme Lord, demigods, right? Graha puja, nakshatra puja, everything comes into this category only. For material benefits. In simple, if a person wants some material desires to be fulfilled, he goes to a demigod and fulfills his desires. That is accepted, that is given in our scriptures only. There is a Gnana Kana section. When a person starts learning what is the purpose of my life, why am I running behind these material things, I should do something different to break the cycle of birth and death. And there's a Upasana Kanda section of Vedas. There is a Bhakti part of the Vedas, mainly deals with a process to attain the Supreme Lord through devotion, Bhakti. In general, people doesn't want to go through this Supreme Lord, right? All they want is material benefits. They go and hire a pujari, give some money, get the job done. That's it. Bye bye. Goodbye. People want quick results, right? That's why. So who are demigods? Demigods are the representatives of the Lord. It is given in our scriptures. They have to sanction. What are the people perform any puja? They have to sanction, must sanction, right? They are the representatives of the Supreme Lord. So again, now why do people go to the demigods? All they care, they don't want to learn any spiritual knowledge. See, so I'm not saying this is Krishna is saying, don't blame me. So people don't want to go to the Supreme Lord to attain the Supreme Lord or liberation. They want material benefit. That's why they go to the demigods, do some puja and done. They want quick results. Kshipram. That's why. We need to understand what demigods gives, what the Supreme Lord gives. We'll see the difference. In case of demigods, if puja is performed, demigods here means like Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Nakshatra, Graha, water, anything, right? Demigods, they just sanction. If we are in trouble, we go them as puja is performed and the problem is solved. That's true. If only if the condition applies. The condition is the pujari has to be perfect, and the person who is also having has to have the proper intention. The money he earned has to be in a genuine way. Then that works out, right? Otherwise, it may not work out. Anyway, but the Supreme Lord, in case of Supreme Lord, he may or may not give. It depends on the karma. So what he gives is what helps in our in other way. If we take the shelter of the Supreme Lord, what Supreme Lord gives is that which helps us to attain him. That which helps us to attain him. Right. If a nice example, if a child, a small child, is a young kid, he has seen someone smoking cigarettes and he wants to try, and he gets the money, $20, and he goes to a store, right, and asks for cigarette. What the store guy gives, just takes the money and gives it. That's it. The store guy doesn't worry about what happens to this child. So that is a case of demigods. So demigods doesn't worry about what happens with you. They just sanction it. Right? Again, if the same child goes to his father and asks for cigarettes, what the father will do? Slap on his face. He'll say, what's happening with you? Why you need this? He'll slap on his face and he'll put him in a right direction. Right? So here a father is trying to put the child in a right direction so that that will help him to attain the Supreme Lord. Similarly, even though one may have material desires, when we are approaching the Supreme Lord, see, it is because we have taken the shelter. Lord does whatever is good for us. Whatever is good for us. So we don't need to worry about anything. Okay. Okay. So Krishna is trying to give a difference between a demigod worship versus a worship about the Supreme Lord. And there is a nice verse in Srimad Bhagavatam that it's like if a person worships the Supreme Lord, goes to the Supreme Lord, doesn't worry about all this means, he goes to the Supreme Lord, he satisfies everybody. He doesn't need to satisfy all his desires will be fulfilled. It doesn't need to go through direct means or indirect means. I mean, it doesn't need to go through indirect means. So the process analogy is compared to this watering the tree. You can see in this picture, if you pour the water to the tree, if you pour the water to the roots of the tree, entire tree is nourished. There is no separate reason to pour water to branches, sticks, right? Entire tree is nourished. Similarly, when we please the Supreme Lord, he takes care of us. We don't have to go through different means. Okay. Yeah, I think we can do this verse. Maybe I request someone to read this verse.
चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणाकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारम् अपि मां विद्धि अकर्तारम् अव्ययम्. According to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable.
Thank you, Paul. So why Krishna spoke this verse? So in the previous verses, Krishna said, one who knows and understands the Supreme Lord, I can attain the Supreme Lord. And also said, what are the way one approaches, he reciprocates accordingly. And people in desire of material benefits, they don't approach the Supreme Lord, they approach the demigods in an indirect means. And for that category of people, Krishna is saying he created a system. The system is Varnashram system, for people to slowly progress. So let's talk about this system. What Krishna is talking about this system. Varnas, 4 Varnas. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. Krishna is saying he classifies certain set of people. Right? So there is another big misconception in the people from Indian origin about the caste system. And they say like caste system is given in our Vedas or scriptures, but no, Krishna is clearly saying that Krishna is not saying about any OC, BC, or also all types of caste systems. No, Krishna is not saying that. But Krishna is saying that he classified certain set of people according to what? According to guna and karma. Guna means their nature. Karma means their actions. So you understand this when I give example for this, right? So Shudra is a person whose nature is he is kind of in nature is he just works for others. He just works for others. His nature is not aggressive or anything like that. He just works for others. He likes to work. He doesn't care about anything. I work, I do my duty, I'll be happy. Right? So none of these, these are 4 parallels. Okay, no, nothing is low, nothing is higher. Okay, and Vaishya is like some kind of people. Their guna and karma are like they are into business class. They like to trading. Example is trading, merchants trading, buy and sell. Some people are good at that. Right? So some people just work, and some people that they're good at like doing a business deal. Right? If you see IT company in Shudras, it is said that regular IT developers, okay, and Vaishyas compared to the business people, who talk to various vendors and tries to get the business, right? And the Kshatriyas is one category, and I will go to the next category, that is Kshatriyas. Kshatriya means administrative class. Right? They are into administration, like a manager, a director. They're good at dealing with the people. Like a police officer, he knows control the law and order. Right? He has this potency. A soldier, a army, a soldier, right? He's in the administrative class. He has that strength to control the people and rule the people. That's why he's into this category. And other category is Brahmana. He's not so aggressive. He's not into controlling people. He's not into business. He's not into working for others, but he's more into suggestions, guidance. Right? A priest, a teacher. The best example is a teacher, right? And in IT world, we can see like there are advisory board. There are certain people who just do this advices to run the business, right? That is other category. So these are the 4 classifications. None of them is inferior and none of them is superior. They are equal. So that's why Krishna in this verse clearly says, okay, even though I categorize, I classify, I never discriminate. Any class of people from any place, any stream. These are 4 streams, right? Any stream, they can attain perfection. Okay, so I think we'll complete 15 today. I'll read this one, text 14 and 15. Text 14, there is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. And text 15, all the liberated souls in the ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty, follow in their footsteps. Okay, so in 14 and 15, we'll finish it in a few minutes and we'll end the session. So Krishna is speaking everything about himself, about his up. If you see from the first verse, Krishna is saying he has given. What Krishna is trying to do, he's trying to persuade Arjuna to take up karma yoga and work like a karma yogi. Right? And Krishna is also saying he has given this knowledge before to many people. And he appears to give this knowledge. And by such knowledge, one can attain perfection. By knowing about the Supreme Lord and working for the Supreme Lord, one can attain perfection. And and Krishna also says he classifies certain set of people, for people to slowly progress. And in this verse 14, Krishna is saying, even though he does, he appears, he does activities, and he also classifies people, right? So none of the work entangle him. So this is one of the question one might have when Krishna appears. When Krishna appears, when he does actions, will he also get karma? When we take birth, when we do actions, we get karma. We're bound to karmic reactions. Right? When we do good karma, we'll get good reactions. When we do bad karma, we'll get bad reactions. Example, when I'm donating this water to the poor people who doesn't have water to drink, I'll get good karma. That is, I'll be given sufficient amount of water in my next lifetime or this lifetime. When I do bad karma, when I injure, harm a person, that will affect me, he will injure me or he'll harm me. So there is a reaction to any of our actions. Good karma gives good results, bad karma gives bad results. That is us, a living entity. But in case of God, he is not bound to any karmic reactions. That's why clearly Krishna is saying, no. He takes birth, performs actions, does various things, is not bound to any karmic reactions. And that's why Krishna is saying, one who understands this truth about himself. Right? If you can understand about the Lord, his actions, one would not get entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. So there is an example given. There is a sun, right? Sun evaporates water from various places. Evaporates water from a pond, a lake, or a urine. But sun does not get affected. It is good water or bad water, sun does not get affected. Similarly, when Krishna comes, when Krishna performs actions, when Krishna does this cosmic creation, he is never entangled into any karmic reactions. When one clearly understands about the Supreme Lord, one allows faith towards the Supreme Lord, and he works towards attaining the Supreme Lord, and he can break the cycle of birth and death. That's 14 and 15. So Krishna is saying, many great people. Again, Krishna is trying to speak the karma yoga here. Practicing the work or doing the work with proper consciousness, by which one can break the cycle of birth and death, right? So many people, many liberated souls in the ancient times, they have clear understanding who God is. And they work for the pleasure of the Lord as a service to the Lord. By such work, they attain perfection. That's why Krishna is saying, like that, Arjuna, you also do your duty. Follow their footsteps. Do your duty. Examples: Prahalada. He was a small boy, and he was so much devoted to the Lord. Lord appeared as Narasimha, and I'll keep it short. Lord appeared as Narasimha, and Lord says that you continue ruling. Lord enthroned Prahalada to be future king, and he said, you continue to rule. And even though it is a demonic family, demonic environment. His father Hiranyakashipu was a demon, and all the people are demons. But Prahlada was enthroned there, and Prahlada made everyone a saintly people. He worked. Prahlada also worked. He took care of his family. He had a wife, he had children, he had grandchildren. He took care of everybody nicely. Right? He did not say that, okay, now I attained the vision of Supreme Lord, now I'll go to the Supreme Lord. He did not say that. He did not say that. No, he continued to work. By such work, he attained perfection. At the end of, like after completing his lifespan, he attained the Supreme Lord. So that's what Krishna is saying. You also do that. You also do that. Krishna himself gave the example of Janaka. He's a king. He had so much wealth, so much money, but he remained detached. He remained detached. None of the material things, glittery material things affected him. He remained pure. He remained pure. And also many acharyas also. It's like Ramanacharya, Shankaracharya, Srila Prabhupada, many acharyas, they appeared in this world. The great souls, they also had family, they also had children, they also took care of their necessities, and they worked with proper knowledge about the Supreme Lord, and they attained perfection. Right? Krishna is saying to Arjuna to follow their footsteps and attain perfection, and it is a message to us also. We can also follow their footsteps and attain perfection. Okay, with that being said, I'll stop here. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions, we can take now. Oops, sorry, my camera was not up.